everybody, it's KLG24601 here, your coach of the Safari Zone Stunfisks, bringing you our Round 1 CCL battle against the Laverton Leafeons, coached by Mega Sonic Heroes PvP, or Daniel. And these are the teams that we brought, as you see on screen. I brought Rotom Wash, because it's blue. It's the washing machine, it's the water type. Good job, me, for getting what I brought. Escavalier, Sylveon, Victini, Gorgeist, Mega Sceptile, and Daniel brought Rotom, normal one. That's the normal one because it's got the little sparkies coming off the side instead of an appliance. Different Rotoms look different. I'm such a dork. We have Porygon 2, Vaporeon, Salamence, Hippowdon, and Superior. And let's get right into the battle. So, I was a little bit nervous going up against Daniel, and I was really hoping he wouldn't lead with the Superior, because I led with my Rotom Wash, Igloo, to set up screens, but I couldn't stand against a Superior. So I switched out into my Gorgeist and Frisk, and I find it's Light Clay, which is a little bit weird. Then it sets up Reflect, which is also weird, not what I was expecting. But interesting tech. Then he withdraws, not wanting to catch whatever Gorgeist wanted to do, I guess. And I went for the Will-O-Wisp, and I miss on the Vaporeon, which isn't too big of a deal. Then he goes for Protect, just to scout out what I'm going to do. And I go for Leech Seed, because Vaporeon is a health tank, and I want to get some health. Then he switches out here into his Salamence, and I go for Will-O-Wisp again since he saw my Leech Seed, and I figured he would switch out into something, and might as well get a free Willow on the switch. And so I burn the Salamence, which is absolutely fantastic. And then he goes for Dragon Dance, and I don't really have much I can hit this with because my attacking moves are Flame Charge and Seed Bomb. So I go for Leech Seed, hoping to just slowly whittle it down, thinking that it's burned and can't do much to me, praying it doesn't have the Fire Blast, and that it would be mixed, because that would be really scary, because my Gorgeist does not want to take a Fire Blast. But given that it's now burned and seeded, I switch out into my Victini, hoping that I can take a hit, and it goes for Outrage. And that does a surprising amount with it being burned. I mean, I know it's +1 and with a Life Orb, but that was a lot of damage for a burned Salamence. At least I overestimated Victini's defense, or underestimated Salamance's attack. Whichever way you want to think of it. So I switched out, so I didn't die. Since he went for Outrage, I got a free switch into my Sylveon, which kind of wrecks his whole team. And I'm whittling it down. And my Sylveon is Specs here, and so I go for the only viable move I have on this set with my Choice Specs, and go for Hyper Voice. So I have Hyper Voice, Quick Attack, Heal Bell, and Toxic. I don't really need anything other than Hyper Voice. Then his Reflect wears off, which is nice for anything that wants to come in and do some physical sweeping after that. It gets the download, and because my special defense is so high, it gets an attack boost instead of a special attack boost, which is nice. And I do a Hyper Voice, and it does over half, which is amazing. Then I avoid the Toxic, and Daniel got really salty, but I missed a Will-O-Wisp, and he missed a Toxic, so I think it evens out. And then he switches into Vaporeon. And then I Hyper Voice that. And it takes over half. And I'm very happy because Sylveon is a monster. And he goes for Wish, hoping that maybe I get a low damage roll, and that was the high roll. But I Hyper Voice and kill him there, because Specs Sylveon is a monster. Then he sends in Porygon 2. And he gets the attack boost again instead of special attack. Then he goes for Ice Beam, I think trying to get a freeze, because I told some stories of some hacks my brother got against me in practice battles. And I just go for Hyper Voice and finish it off there. Not just killing the little blue duck with my fairy screams. I guess. That's really weird. Hyper voices fairy screams. Okay. Then he sets up the light screen to take my hyper voices. And I keep going for hyper voice, and that does a decent amount with the reflect up. Then he goes for Giga Drain. And he gets the crit, which is kind of unfortunate because he's going to get a good amount of health back. And I'm just got to keep going for hyper voice since I'm Specs. And he, with the amount he's doing to me, and getting health back with the light screen up, he's outpacing me in damage. Or at least it feels like it at this point. And so he withdraws into the Hippowdon while I'm going for hyper voice because I stayed in and I'm Specs, so I've got to be going for hyper voice. Comes in, sets up the sand stream, and I hyper voice. See how much it does to Hippowdon. Almost half with the light screen up, which is really nice. He gets his leftovers recovery. And then I switch out because I want to preserve my Sylveon for when the light screen's down. And figuring he's going to Earthquake, I switch into my Rotom Wash. He goes for Slack Off instead. And I get buffeted by the Sandstorm, which is not fun, but I was expecting it, so it wasn't too bad. He switches in the Superior. And I go for Reflect, because I'm trying to get my screens up finally, now that I'm not as afraid of the Superior. Then he gets buffeted by the Sandstorm. And I feel confident that since it's screens, it's going to be bulkier, and that Giga Drain will not kill me. So I stay in, and do live, luckily for me. And I set up my light screen, so that this Superior can't hurt anything else of mine, because it's not putting out too much damage with that Giga Drain. I get buffeted by the Sandstorm, but I live, and I switch out, just to preserve my Rotom, in case I need to set up screens again or do something with it. I bring in my Sceptile to take the Giga Drain, and takes almost nothing because of that resistance, the bulky Superior not having as much damage, and the light screen up, Sandstorm subsides, his light screen wears off, I Mega Evolve into this beautiful, beautiful Sceptile. It's named Summer because it's a Christmas tree, and Daniel's from Australia, and Christmas is in summer. And I go for Dragon Pulse because it's the best move I have to hit it, and I get a crit, which didn't matter because Mega Sceptile is a freaking beast. Then he sends out Hippowdon, and was gonna reset the sand up with that crazy sand stream, which just makes the whole field look kinda scary. Then I Giga Drain, and to my surprise, that one-shot. I was not expecting that to one-shot. Hippowdon is bulky, and I was like, oh, it's gonna do something to me. Hope it doesn't have Ice Fang, because that would have been bad. I would have died. Then he switches in the Salamence, and I outspeed since I'm a Mega freaking Sceptile, and I Dragon Pulse it, just not taking any chances on that 4 times resisted Giga Drain. And I kill the Salamence, and that's the battle. It was a 6-0 with my Sylveon and Mega Sceptile taking the leads there with some great support from Rotom. He did a great job setting up those screens, and Gourgeist with the clutch burns. Petini did nothing but take a freaking outrage, and Escavalier didn't get to see the light of day in this battle, sadly. But that was a good game, Daniel. It was a great first round, and I look forward to seeing how you do in the rest of the season. But, folks, I think that's going to wrap up today's battle against the Laverton Leafeons. Make sure you check out the CCL's YouTube and subscribe, as well as our Twitter, Twitch, and our Spreadshirt, which has all kinds of awesome things on it. I got a shirt with the CCL on it and a little bear with my Safari Zone Stunfisk logo. It's so cute. You should get one of your favorite team. Hopefully it's me, but whichever one you want, or the CCL. And make sure to follow Daniel on Twitter and subscribe to his YouTube, as well as all the other coaches. All the links will be down in the description below. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this with your friends. And if you like it and it's linked to Twitter, we'll retweet you on my account and the CCL account. So, hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you back in 2 weeks for round 2. See you guys then. That's still the wrong button.